I was honestly very excited to write this review of the Fallout TV series when I first began watching it, but after episode 4, the entire series takes a nosedive that only gets worse and worse. The Fallout series is honestly complex to me as a fan of the series, and in this video, I want to document the good, the bad, and the awful. Those who tune into the series who watch along will already know my feelings on the series, and I will be using clips from those streams in this review. Without further ado, let's talk about the good aspects of the Fallout Amazon series. The Fallout series looks incredible. I have never been a fan of the Fallout 4 redesign, but the way that Amazon was able to design the sets, the costumes, the weapons, the mutants, the robots, it all looks incredible. I want to really quickly give a shout out to the specific Protectron who's trying his best to sweep the sidewalk. He's trying his best. The vault settings really feel like an actual Fallout vault. They didn't go for any strange changes to the vault and faithfully adapted the vault style into an incredible set piece. The outside world looks great as well. The wasteland of Southern California is pretty much how I expected the wasteland to look. Pre-War America was incredible, from watching the Great War start to a house party in the Hollywood Hills. Pre-War America looks exactly how I expected it to. Costume and prop design was on point throughout the series. I really enjoyed the addition of the 10mm pistol from the original Fallouts. All of the costume designs remained faithful to the Fallout aesthetics and were incredibly interesting and well put together. The story was also a highlight. Ignoring factors that I will cover later in the video, the multiple stories we followed were interesting, especially that of the Ghoul and the Vault conspiracy. Maximus and Lucy were interesting characters, but the Ghoul stole the show, and the other two protagonists will be talked about later in the video. The story arc of the Ghoul almost feels like it was written by an entirely different team of people. There's a scene where the Ghoul confronts Wastelanders for information on where Moldaver is currently hiding out. The scene was so well structured that no one in the watch-along said a word. The scene was tense and filled with emotion. We all acknowledged it was similar to a scene in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, but they were able to give us an excellent scene with a nod to a classic movie. Parts like this is what makes for excellent storytelling in the Fallout universe. The Vault storyline is interesting because it keeps you on the edge of your seat and makes you speculate on what will happen next. To explain briefly, Vault 31 through 33 are all interconnected in some kind of trade agreement where they share resources. Vault 32 is infiltrated by raiders who attack Vault 33. We find out that Vault 32 was destroyed long before the raiders made their way into the vault. Now it's a mystery where we have to speculate on what's really going on in this vault trio of some kind, and uncover the secret experiment behind the vaults. Until the reveal, which I'll talk about later, I know I continue to say that, but trust me, I have a problem with the later half of the show. We are kept on the edge of our seats on what is truly happening within this vault. Overall, I enjoyed set design, costume design, prop design, and some of the subplots were very interesting and fit well into the Fallout universe. Let me rattle off a few, a few minor things I liked. I liked seeing Mr. House, and who I am presuming is Dr. Klein, even though the scenes kind of ruins their characters. Quick clarification, this character is actually Frederick St. Clair, the founder of the Sierra Madre and executive of the Big MT. I will refer to him as Klein again later, but remember it's Frederick St. Clair. He definitely looks closer to Klein than an in-game St. Clair, but hey, my bad, my guys, back to the vid. I like the guns that the Ghoul has. I actually like the power armor design. It really grew on me. The depiction of the Great War was really cool. The comedy was funny most of the time. The new lore on ghouls was going feral. It was pretty interesting. And I think that's about it. Now let's move on to what we all really wanted. The bad parts. This part is going to be going over my nitpicks about the series before I get into my actual reason for not liking the series. This is not going to be a rant just yet, but I do want to talk about some of the parts of the series that I thought could have been done better. Firstly, Maximus barely had any kind of character arc in the series. Maximus is presented to us as a passionate Brotherhood initiate who wants to do whatever he can to become a Knight of the Brotherhood. Immediately, that is a compelling character. But Amazon continuously makes Maximus do things that don't make any sense at all. One moment he's a courageous hero, and the next he's trying to murder his new friend because he apparently used charisma as a dump stat or something. Maximus trying to murder Thaddeus made absolutely no sense. If you just explained to Thaddeus that the knight he was assigned to was a coward and a jerk, he could play it off that he was trying to finish the mission on his own after his knight was slain by a Yao Guai. Immediately resulting to murder after Thaddeus was shocked by this revelation was the worst possible move Maximus could have done. Worst of all, he'd never learned anything from it. Maximus sees Thaddeus again and is like, sup, I'm a ghoul now apparently. Okay, here's the MacGuffin, see ya. Apparently nothing was resolved in that interaction, and Maximus didn't grow as a character at all throughout the first season. All we got was a couple of surprise promotions played off his character development. I'm disappointed in how Amazon handled him. Lucy's a character I don't really have that many problems with, but unfortunately I can't really rave about her either. She seems like just another naive vault dweller who acclimates to the surface world and becomes this tough character. The only thing I really have to say about Lucy is I hope she becomes a more memorable character in the next season when she hangs out with the ghoul a bit more. Alright, let's see here. I wish they made the ghouls grosser. I wish they actually showed a laser weapon fire. I don't like the weird Jet Booster T-60 armor. How does Lucy's dad know how to pilot power armor? The Enclave was in it for literally 2 seconds and never spoken of again. Probably for the best. I don't remember anyone calling LA the Boneyard. The romance felt forced. The payoff for the Vault conspiracy was too heavily foreshadowed in the later episodes. Even though the NCR vet armor is salvaged, it still looks like shit. And I want more ghoul. Now that's pretty much all of my nitpicks out of the way. Let's get to the part of the series that actually ruined it for me.
People call me Mr. Poop Hands. That's my name. I'm the king of poop, and I wear it like a crown.
Anyone who's been on the internet in the past few weeks knows why diehard Fallout fans are mad at the series. Retcons. And oh boy, there are numerous retcons in this series. Now I see many people arguing about whether or not changing canon in the Fallout series matters or not. It's fine to enjoy the Fallout series and not care at all for the larger narrative at play, but for many Fallout fans including me, who has played every Fallout game except Brotherhood of Steel, the drastic changes to the lore almost seems malicious. I made a joke in the beginning of me and the Sneedclaves watched along that Todd was still very salty about not making the best Fallout game, and actively wanted to destroy New Vegas. That passing joke was pretty much confirmed in the later episodes. Now to understand why so many people are mad, let's talk about Fallout New Vegas. Vegas took place in 2281 after the first Battle of Hoover Dam in 2277. The new California Republic is essentially occupying the Mojave despite the Legion's consistent advances into Vegas and NCR territory. I would also like to make it clear that in 2276, the NCR was able to defeat the Brotherhood of Steel in Operation Sunburst and secure Helios 1 and resupply in time to defeat the Legion at Hoover Dam a year later. As shown, in Vegas by 2281, the NCR is a political and military powerhouse and does not mess around when trying to secure their interest. So why is it that in the Fallout TV series, they are reduced to little more than raiders? Some can say, but Noble, the TV series takes place in 2296, and Vegas was in 2281. That's a whole 15 years the NCR had to collapse, and I would agree with you. The NCR collapsing was not my main problem. They could have collapsed for a multitude of reasons, but this one scene makes all the difference. On the chalkboard, it says that in 2277, Shady Sands fell, and the capital city of the NCR fell from unknown reasons and was nuked after the events of New Vegas, as stated by Todd. But there is still a hard date that the capital fell in 2277. Now, dear viewer, how is a military force supposed to do battle in the Mojave when your capital city, which housed all of your military brass and members of Congress, is no longer functioning? It would be like if the US was occupying a foreign country and the entirety of DC was currently on fire. Yeah, I think there's significantly more important things than what's going on in a far-off land. The capital city has just fallen. Not just did Todd decide to drop the retcon nuke on the NCR, but also had the audacity to show us a scene of New Vegas in the distance as some kind of twisted teaser for the next season. Todd's like, okay, New Vegas fans, we're going to Vegas in the series, but I made sure to take out all the parts that made it great and give it the old Todd spin on it. Honestly, I think it's Todd lashing out after no one liked Starfield. Based on how they depicted New Vegas, it looks like they made dust canon. Yeah, the hardcore mod that came out for Vegas is now part of the canon series. Asteroid Mojave? Check. The strip is in ruins? Check. Everything fucking sucks? Check. Fuck it, Todd made the official ending to New Vegas be where everything is awful and everyone loses. Another retcon that is completely awful is the changing of who dropped the nukes. Okay, so in the Fallout Bible, it is said that it is not even known if the bombs came from China or America. But due to the facts that are given to us, many in the fandom have come to a conclusion that is widely believed. The Resource War was a bloody and difficult conflict in the pre-war world. To spare you from me listing off dates and to keep it simple, China invaded the United States, specifically the state of Alaska, to steal its oil, and the Sino-American War began. Over a decade later, the United States sent power armored troops to mainland China to break down their logistical support to the Anchorage front lines and hopefully isolate the Chinese troops. This was successful. The fans mostly agree that the Chinese retaliated with their own Samson option, launching nuclear weapons into the US, causing a chain reaction of nuclear retaliation, making the world into nothing more than an uninhabitable wasteland. Not to mention the switchboard terminals confirming that Chinese bombers were in American airspace dropping nukes. Whoever pulled the trigger does not matter when it's China versus America, because it shows that war, no matter who started it, will only end in tragedy for all involved. The Great War acts as the ultimate folly of man, and how centuries of warfare have led us up to this pivotal moment where nothing else mattered. We battled over resources to try and make the lives of our people and our countries better, but all we got for fighting was the destruction of all that we held dear. The Great War is a cautionary tale of what can happen when we lose sight of what we are fighting for, and we lose everything because of that. Nah, fuck it, the Vault-Tec launched the nukes. Yep, Amazon and Todd decided that it'd be much more interesting if it was Vault-Tec that destroyed the world in a false flag attack so they can make more money. That makes sense, right? Let's obliterate all the people who make us money so we can do spooky experiments based on the sick desires of these evil CEOs. Hey look, even Mr. House is here, and Dr. Klein for the Big MT is here. Not just is this the dumbest thing they could have possibly done, it does not even make sense from a business standpoint. Okay, so Vault-Tec is a business that sells people spaces in a vault. Why start a nuclear fucking war to try and make more money? Like, I guess they become the rulers of the earth in the aftermath, but that's just stupid. Who are you gonna be the rulers of? A few Brahmin and a rusted suit of power armor? Not only is this stupid, but apparently Vault-Tec was the one that bombed Shady Sands. Yes, somehow Vault-Tec got mad at the NCR for rebuilding society without them and decided to take them out because some guy got divorced. A company destroying a beloved icon because they hate seeing success? Where have I heard that one before? Vault-Tec dropping the nukes is ridiculous and takes away from the fact that it's supposed to be ambiguous who started the war, because it doesn't matter who shot first in the grand scale of things. But coming out and saying that two superpowers destroyed the world because a company did a false flag attack to become the evil rulers of the earth is just it's just stupid from a storytelling perspective. I think it was just some fresh out of college writer who read one page of Marx and said, yeah, let's make Vault-Tec the ones who nuke the world because they're evil and a corporation and stuff, right? This entire retcon felt so disingenuous to Fallout as a whole. I know people are going to try and berate me and tell me that Fallout has always been a critique of capitalism and nationalism, and yes, I'm well aware of this in the series. I've played many hours of Fallout, but saying that Vault-Tec destroyed the world for the sake of making more money is just completely ridiculous and insulting to those who follow the Fallout fandom. Overall, I would say the Fallout TV series started strong and fell face first halfway through. I didn't even get to talk about how I have no idea how Moldaver is 200 years old, but if you have only played Fallout 4 or 76, go ahead and watch the show. You'll love it. For those who are lore nerds or are fans of the older games, steer clear of the show. I wish I could have made a positive review of the series, but the retcons and the changes were too insulting to ignore. I'll give this series a 5 doses of lethal radiation out of 5. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end, it really means the world to me. I've been extremely busy with getting out of the Marines and getting ready to start full-time college in the fall. I've also been busy with crashing my car into a tree in Pennsylvania, so, that was fun. Shout out to Chet for that experience. I want to give a shout out to Bo Nash1 and R Frosty for being the first ever members of the channel. I really appreciate the support, dudes. If anyone wants to be a supporter and have your name mentioned in the videos or see exclusive videos, you can go down below and become a member today. I'll keep y'all posted on new videos coming soon, and I thank you guys for watching.